Why did Lord Shen accept his death? For 30 years, Lord Shen was completely committed to conquering all of China. He massacred the pandas, crafted a seemingly unstoppable weapon, and had prepared an entire army to go to war on his behalf. Shen was established to be a relentless, deadly, and brilliant individual who would never give up on his ambitions. Yet, when a cannon began to fall upon him during his final battle, he didn't even attempt to get out of the way. We'd seen Shen move with incredible speed many times before that fight. We even saw him flying through the air, so it seems like he could have kept fighting, especially since Po got off the boat before it blew up and he's a big fat panda. But instead, Lord Shen allowed his life to end, and today I want to understand why, because I have to wonder, how can I avoid that path in my own life? Now, I think there were two major reasons that explain why Shen embraced his death. Of course, the most simple explanation is that Lord Shen knew he was defeated. You see, after Shen was banished from Gangmin City, he used his army of wolves to help him perfect and mass produce his new weapon across the next few decades. He also built up an arsenal of swords, spears, and bow and arrows for his wolf army and hired guerrillas from faraway lands to be his personal guard. He spent the majority of his life preparing for his conquest of China, but Po ruined his plans. After finding inner peace, the Dragon Warrior was able to use Shen's weapon against him, and in a matter of moments, Shen's fleet of ships, his army, and his weapons were destroyed and sinking to the bottom of the harbor. The truth was that when Po confronted Lord Shen for the last time, there was no way for Shen to escape. Of course, Shen was a competent fighter and an excellent swordsman, but he was on his own, facing down Po with many other kung fu masters nearby, and he had already admitted he couldn't defeat them without his weapon. There was no one left to protect him. He was surrounded, and it was clear that his options were limited. He must have been able to see that all of his hopes and dreams for the future would never come to fruition. He had given everything to this cause, even his own parents, but his sacrifice was all for nothing. And for me, this kind of outcome is a fear that has been growing inside of me. Over the last few years, I've worried that I'm going to make the wrong choices over and over and over again. I'm scared with my channel's momentum slowing and my viewership decreasing over time that my career is going to be over. While I continue to try to make my videos better and stay disconnected from all of the numbers, it's really hard to see these trends and not feel scared. I'm worried that I'm going to destroy everything I've loved in my life in pursuit of continuing with this channel. I'm afraid I'll eventually hate making videos, that I'll resent the movies I once loved to discuss, and that I'll financially destroy myself because I wasn't strong enough to pursue something more practical. The question I've been asking myself while making this video is, am I destined to see my dream fall apart like Lord Shen's? Well, when Lord Shen faced his defeat, I think he believed his options were limited to two choices. Either he would be imprisoned for the rest of his life, or he would die fighting in one final battle against Po. But the truth was that there was a third path he could have chosen to take. He could have attempted to find inner peace. But no matter how many times all of the people in his life begged him to search for the true cause of his pain and suffering, he refused to move on. And this is the deeper reason that I believe Shen accepted his defeat. He would not allow himself to change. You see, no one wanted Shen's life to end up this way. In Shen's youth, he saw a darker power within the fireworks that his family had invented. What was created to bring color and joy to the people of Gangmin City also had the potential to create destruction and suffering. The explosives could tear China apart, and his parents became fearful of what would happen if Shen pursued that path. Of course, in response to this concern, Shen's parents hoped to gain clarity on their son's future by turning to a soothsayer. She revealed to them that if Shen continued down the road he was walking, he would be defeated by a warrior of black and white. But the reveal of this prophecy only made Shen more fearful. By attempting to find a way to stop Shen's corruption, his parents instead fueled it, and Shen himself made the same mistake as well. Inevitably, when Shen massacred the pandas in an attempt to change his fate, he sealed it. You see, the actions Shen took to attempt to preserve his own life were the very actions that allowed his lifelong enemy to be created. By separating a seemingly ordinary panda from his parents, that baby would travel all the way to the Valley of Peace, where he would be raised by a goose, fall in love with Kung Fu and inevitably be chosen to be the Dragon Warrior. Shen's actions positioned the prophesized warrior of black and white to rise up against him. Both the desperate acts of Lord Shen and his parents led them all to the futures they most feared. And I absolutely feel like I've done this to myself. My fear over what might happen to my YouTube channel has often led me to overthink each video and to beat myself up over every upload. When I first started making videos, I was making 2 a week while I was a full-time college student, and now there's times where I struggle to just make 1 video in a whole week because I want it to be the best video possible. But that just unfairly puts more pressure on myself and leads to more despair if the thing I make doesn't resonate with people in the way I'm hoping it does. But I'm not like Shen. As Shen pursued his goals, people suffered, including himself. He was anxious, destructive, and full of rage, and his motivation to subjugate all of China came from a place of insecurity. Everyone around Shen could see his pain and tried to warn him that he would not achieve happiness on this path. But how do we know if the voices around us have our best interests at heart and know what's best for us? When are we supposed to listen? And when are we supposed to ignore everyone so that we can never stop pursuing our dreams? Well, I think the difference between dreams we're meant to keep pursuing and the ones we have to turn away from is joy. While I'm filled with anxiety at times and ruminate over the future, I overthink things because I care. I'll always want to make the best videos I can, and there will always be a part of me that wants people to care about my work. But when I ignore all of that, I'm able to focus on my own passion for creating, and I'm happy. But along Lord Shen's journey, Shen couldn't find joy in his life because his actions were motivated by pain in his past that he was unwilling to confront. His parents, the soothsayer, and Po weren't trying to keep him from his potential when they warned him of his path. They were attempting to show him that he was being controlled by his trauma. The truth is that throughout every step of Shen's journey, he could have changed. Shen could have spared the pandas. He could have stopped building his weapon and his army. He could have respected his parents' banishment and stayed away from Gongmin City forever, and he could have stopped fighting when he knew that Po had beaten him. But Shen ignored everyone around him because he remained hopeful that his commitment to his conquests would be his salvation. In reality though, Shen's desire for power and control over the world would not allow him to achieve true happiness. The feelings of inadequacy from his childhood could not be resolved through this empty pursuit. But I'm convinced I'm not on the same path as Shen. I'm not making videos because I'm empty inside. I create because I'm filled with passion, excitement, and joy for the movies I discuss and the medium I get to create for. I have joy for what I do, and I need to protect that. I'm not going to accept my death on YouTube. But Shen would meet a different fate. Once Po ensured all of Lord Shen's plots would never come to fruition, Shen's hope for the future was extinguished. Instead of attempting to work towards finding peace within himself, he convinced himself he was destined to suffer. So when Shen confronted his mortality, he tragically chose to accept his death. The last few years have been hard, but the discovery of Kung Fu Panda has meant a lot to me. It's a franchise and a community that has been very good to me, and I can't wait to continue to discuss what's coming next. So make sure to subscribe for all the videos I'll be making about Kung Fu Panda 4. And if you want to support me in an even larger way, it would mean the world to me if you considered becoming a member of the channel. I don't know what the rest of my YouTube career will look like, but with people like you being here for me, I know it'll be legendary. I'm Isaac Carlson. Thanks for being you, and have a magical day.